listening to an audio article by the Common Constitutionalist. Today's article is entitled A New Cloward and Piven Three-Prong Attack. Break the welfare system, break the asylum immigration system, break the election system. Many of us who follow politics are either familiar with or at least have heard of Cloward and Piven, Richard Cloward and Francis Fox Piven. They were 60s-era radicals dressed up as Columbia University professors. Of course, we can probably describe most college professors in the same manner. The famous or infamous article describing their plan was originally crafted in the 60s and re-released in 2015 on the Nation.com website as part of the Nation's 150th Anniversary Special Issue. The article is entitled The Weight of the Poor, A Strategy to End Poverty. The essence of their scheme was and is, quote, a mass strategy to recruit the poor onto welfare rolls would create a political crisis that could result in legislation that brings an end to poverty, unquote. The strategy was and is to overwhelm the system, to so overburden government agencies with so many new welfare candidates that the system collapses on itself. The theory is that the system could then be reset and reconfigured to resemble the redistributionist Marxist utopia these radicals have so long envisioned. But now we can see the Cloward and Piven strategy to transform America being utilized across a whole spectrum of the left's political ambitions, from redistribution of wealth to immigration to elections and voting. It didn't take long to begin to flood the system with new welfare recipients. As Glenn Beck explained, quote, from 1965 to 1974, due to the strategy and effort of Cloward and Piven, the total recipients on welfare rocketed from 4.3 million to 10.8 million people, unquote. Because of this, the following year, 1975, New York City was forced to declare bankruptcy due to its welfare system being overwhelmed. Total government spending estimates for fiscal year 2019 are projected to be over $1.1 trillion. We've come a long way, baby. Seeing the success of their welfare state plan, the left has begun a full-throated campaign to overwhelm the immigration and asylum system. If things continue at the current caravan pace, we should expect to see hundreds of thousands, if not millions, more migrants flooding our southern border in a concentrated effort to swamp our immigration asylum system. As of March 2018, the American Immigration Council reported that, quote, on average, asylum seekers had to wait around 1,000 days for their cases to be reviewed in an immigration court, unquote. And these wait times will increase exponentially as more caravans arrive. This is not happening organically or coincidentally. This is a Cloward and Piven type design. And lastly, our election system. As we've just witnessed, our election system hasn't yet been overwhelmed, but it's rapidly on its way. Aided by fraudsters like those in Broward County, Florida, early and absentee voting, same-day registration, and no ID required polling places, our system is headed for collapse. Another way to facilitate a Cloward and Piven type collapse is the growing popularity of automatic voter registration, or AVR. Although AVR is spoken about little, it is an insidious program. According to the Brennan Center for Justice, a leftist social justice think tank, quote, automatic voter registration, or AVR, is an innovative policy that streamlines the way Americans register to vote. AVR makes two simple yet transformative changes to the way our country has traditionally registered voters, unquote. Notice the word transformative. The left loves this word as it precisely describes their intentions for our nation. AVR states that any citizen, quote, who interacts with government agencies are registered to vote or have their existing registration information updated unless they affirmatively decline, unquote. In other words, all who receive welfare, food stamps, or any other form of government assistance are automatically registered to vote. If they choose not to be registered, they must take the initiative to opt out or remove themselves from the voter rolls. The leftists designed this program knowing very well that few will go to the effort of opting out. Currently, 15 states and D.C. have approved the policy, meaning that over a third of Americans live in a jurisdiction that has either passed or implemented AVR. If things progress at this current pace of transformation, and if we don't start waking up to this three-pronged attack, in 10 years or so, our constitutionally constructed America may be virtually unrecognizable. Thank you for listening.